Assalamualaikum. Today I'm going to present our proposal, which is about the setting up of vehicle service center at Bukit Kachi, Sintok, Kedah. So I will explain a little bit about the background of the student residential halls at Bukit Kachi. So firstly, it was named as College Bukit Kachi 1 and College Bukit Kachi 2, but now it being called as Bank Rakyat and SMB Bank Residential Halls. So it was operated in 2003 and led by the principal, assistant principal, and also the administrative staff. It is located around 3 km from UM campus and being provided by many facilities for students. So some of example is Kachi Mall, Kachi Halls, Imam Shafi'i Mosque, and also a training center. So in Kachi Mall, some of the facilities included is convenience store, ATM, UPC, which is University Parcel Center, and also many food stalls that sell many varieties of food such as Western and also traditional Malay food. So the purpose of this report is to propose to Dr. Cik Muhammad Aziz bin Yaakob, which is the principal of SME Bank Student Residential Halls, about the setup of the vehicle service center or workshop beside Kachi Mall, University Utara Malaysia, Sintok, Kedah. The scope of this proposal is to analyse the current condition that are faced by the student who stay at Bukit Kachi, which is from Bank Rakyat and also SME, and how this vehicle service center can benefit them. Besides that, this proposal is also to determine the cost that students use and spend on their vehicle, included the petrol cost to seek for the vehicle service at somewhere else. So in addition, this scope also can discover the needs and also the demand of the student and also the type of service that they actually need. For the source that we use to get the information is we use both primary and secondary source. For primary, we use questionnaire and also interview. We distribute 30 questionnaire amongst the students, among the UM student, and especially for Bank Rakyat and also SME student. And because of this current condition now, we just distribute it via Google Form. And we have two type of question, which is closed and open question. For open question, we have we allowed the respondent to answer in any way they wish. It is because it is to determine the demand and also the needs of students relating to this vehicle service center. And for interview, we conduct the interview on the 1st May on 2020, which is around at 3 p.m. with Madam Rohaya binti Daud. Madam Rohaya binti Daud is one of the administrative staff at SME Bank. So the interview is being held to obtain the information and also the opinion about the setting up of the vehicle service center at Kachi Mall, and also we ask for the estimated budget for this project. Eventually, after this interview session, the report contained the detail of proposal was requested. For secondary source, we use online source like blogs and website to collect the information regarding the background and also the origin of the student residential halls at Bukit Kachi. And also the Facebook page of SMB Bank also be used to get to know their latest information. Okay, right now, the current condition of the student that stayed at Bukit Kachi, which are from the Bank Rakyat and SME Bank, they are currently facing a problem of searching the vehicle service center or workshop around the unfamiliar area, which is because like based on our questionnaire, 93% of the respondents agree that by setting up this vehicle service center, it can help them and avoid them from the trouble of searching the workshop or the service center. So nowadays, like most of the students usually they seek for the vehicle service center at Chanlun and Arosta, which is 12 km and 49 km far from the UM respectively. So, and the expense is like most of the respondent, most of increase their expense since the servicing and repairing vehicle alone mostly cost them around 50 ringgit. So beside that, around 25.8% of the respondent repair their vehicle once a month. So it will cost them around 300 ringgit per semester on their vehicle alone, not included the petrol cost. So sometimes when there's emergency case, like maybe the student cars broke down or the tires come flat suddenly at Jalan Bukit Kachi at night, so there is no workshop near there that open and can help the students. So it can help and it can harm and also danger the student safety. So this current problem is not just burden them in terms of cost or searching the vehicle service center, but it is also can cause danger to them. So they have a limited choice of vehicle service center around the area. So even the cost is high, you still have to use the service. And for your information, Jalan Bukit Kachi is very quiet and dark when it comes to night. So cars and motorcycles rarely be seen. So if suddenly your cars broke down, so you need to seek for your friend helps or wait for people that passing by. So just setting up this vehicle service center or workshop is way able to solve the problem and become more convenient to the student. So with the setting up of this service, vehicle service center, it will give some good effect to the student, especially to the rakyat and SME bank student. And around 90% of the respondents agree that this vehicle service center or workshop can bring benefits to them. So benefits can come in many ways. Firstly, in terms of cost, it can ease the burden of the students. So we also propose to hire part-timers from the student itself, so that at the same time this vehicle service center can be the place where the unfortunate student can get some extra money. So apart from that, student safety is also important, especially for the female student. By setting up this vehicle service center and workshop at Bukit Kachi, which is around the residential hall, it is the safety can be more ensured. So they can just call the service even when it's night.
So from the few problems that we are able to identify, we came up with a few solutions and recommendations. So the first one is the action to be taken. One of the action that we had taken is by setting up a vehicle service center or workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall. The location that we choose is beside Bukit Kachi Mall because it has an open area that no one is using that area for any purpose. So Bukit Kachi Mall is a strategic location where students from Bank Rakyat Student Residential Hall and SME Bank Student Residential Hall will buy their daily needs there. And therefore, with an empty space area beside Bukit Kachi Mall, which has been left there for years, we would like to recommend by setting up a vehicle service center or a workshop at the empty area there, where it could bring many benefits to the students. And also vacancy will be posted on the social medias and online job vacancy website to hire full-timers and also part-timers to work at the service center there. So the next thing is the equipment and the materials to be used. The equipment and the materials will be requested and purchased with the help from the Grand Garage UUM, which is a vehicle service center located in Route C UUM. Grand Garage has been operated for years, so they are able to identify and supply us a good quality of equipment and materials for the setting up of the vehicle service center or workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall. And we came out, we suggest another way is by operating 7 days a week. So the vehicle service center or the workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall would operate 7 days a week, which would able to provide service to the students during the weekends. So most of this vehicle service center and the workshop near UUM operates only on Sunday to Thursday only. So operating 7 days a week will actually help the students with the problem of searching a workshop that is open for business during the weekends. And the next thing is the limitations of this proposal. So the first limitation is the cost. So the vehicle service center or the workshop that's setting up beside Bukit Kachi Mall can generate extra costs for Bukit Kachi Mall management in order to cover the utilities and salaries. However, it also creates the extra cost due to the limited number of customers in Bukit Kachi or UUM, because not every student in Bukit Kachi or UUM have their own vehicles. And the second limitation is the number of customers. So by setting up the vehicle service center or workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall, which is located in Route D, which is located quite a distance from Route A, B, and C. Hence, it could mostly have students and staff from Bukit Kachi to have their vehicle checked and serviced. So in addition, not every students have their own vehicle as their transport, and majority of the students and staff will be in the campus. Therefore, the number of customers is limited, and it may be lower than the number of customers in Grand Garage UUM. And the next limitation is the area. So the area of setting up the vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall has a wide empty area, but the area of the vehicle service center or the workshop that is setting up beside Bukit Kachi Mall is not as big as the Grand Garage UUM, which therefore it actually limits the number of cars they are able to accept and left from the customer for checking and repairing. So the expected result that we expected from this proposal, which we believe that there is a good result from it. So according to the results of the questionnaire, most of the respondents have to service or repair their vehicle once a month. So we believe that there will be customer visiting the service center or workshop every month. And the respondent also support our proposal of having different types of service that is available in the workshop. By meeting the student request in the vehicle service center or the workshop, so majority of them will return to the workshop again. So therefore, this proposal is applicable, and it will come with a good return in the near future. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the benefits. So one of the benefits from the proposal of setting up the vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall is convenient. So there is around 100 of vehicles owned by students from Bukit Kachi. So it will be convenient for them to have a service center or a workshop nearby. Usually student will go to Changlun, which is 15 minutes drive away from Bukit Kachi, and by having a vehicle service center or a workshop in Bukit Kachi would allow students to reach there in less than 5 minutes. So it will be convenient, for the students, because most of the students in UM came from different places, so they do not need to ask around for workshop that provide the service that they needed in an unfamiliar place. And therefore, this proposal of setting up the vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall would bring convenience to the student. So the next point that we're going to talk about is reduce expenses. So setting up the vehicle service center or a workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall could help the student in saving their fuel and transportation costs. So according to the result from the questionnaire, students would seek for vehicle service center or workshop outside of UUM and spend more than 100 ringgit to service or repair their vehicles. So one of the situation is when students have to fill up their vehicles to drive to a service center and to reach there for repairing and all that, and they have to come back to UM again. So, and furthermore, if the students is required to leave their vehicles at the service center or the workshop due to some serious issues or problems with their vehicles, they will need to hire a taxi to return to their student residential hall. So both of these situations would increase the students' expenses, and therefore by setting up a vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall, it could help the students in reducing their expenses. Another benefit that we're going to talk about is the working opportunities. So the proposal of setting up a vehicle service center or a workshop beside Bukit Kachi Mall will also bring benefits to the student and also to the public. So the setup of the vehicle service center will open a few job vacancies to the public in order to hire skills and experienced mechanic. Furthermore, this proposal could also provide working opportunities to the students as a part-timer, especially for those they want to earn an extra income for personal expenses or to reduce the burden of their family. So by working in the office or helping out the mechanics as a part-timer, it will actually provide an opportunity for the student to learn the activities and the procedure related to the business, and the experience could actually help them in the real world in the future. And the next benefits we're going to talk about is increase of knowledge. So according to the results of the questionnaire, majority of the students have a moderate technical knowledge about vehicle service center or workshop. So although students have their own vehicle, they do not have a lot knowledge about the technical aspects in their vehicles. So therefore, by hiring skills and experienced mechanic to work in the service center or the workshop, student will understand the technical problems with by the explanation given by the mechanics, and with the explanation they could also gain some knowledge that could not be learned in the academic courses in UM, which in the future when they face with the same situation again, they would actually know what to do and become in the situation.
Next, I'll move into implementation of setting up a vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall. The implementation will be divided into three, which is step to be taken, personnel in charge, and work schedule. First is step to be taken. First of all, we need to submit the proposal. So the proposal will be submitted to Dr. Cik Muhammad Aziz bin Yaakob as a principal of SME Bank Student Residential Hall. The proposal will be submitted on 21st May, and we expected to get the approval from him about 3 weeks later. After that, the construction will start to work. While the construction work is in progress, there will be a search for a manager to manage the operation of vehicle service center. Through social media such as Facebook page and job vacancies website will be used to look into experienced worker and part-timers. Also, regarding the hiring part-timers, it will be posted in the Newsseek. Newsseek is a UUM webpage for students updating current issues. Part-timer will be chosen from among the student because we want to give opportunity for the student who interest to work as a part-timer. After we get the manager will be responsible to design the layout for the vehicle service center, planning on business operation, and creating their own page on social media. This page will be used as a platform to update the vehicle service center progress. After setting up a vehicle service center, an announcement about the first day operation will be made to Newsseek and official website. The first day operation will be held on 8 August. On the first day operation, there will be a promotion such as 50% discount on vehicle service in order to attract more students and staff to visit the vehicle service center. Second is personnel in charge, which is experienced worker and part-timer. Experienced worker will be chosen wisely by the manager to make sure we are hiring a expert technician. This is because to make sure the safety at the vehicle service center and make students trust in them to service their vehicle. The working time for the experienced worker will be divided into 2 shifts, which is morning shift and evening shift. For the morning shift, the worker will be start working at 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. And for the evening shift, they will start from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. For the morning shift, the worker will take a break at 11 until 11:30 a.m. And for the evening shift, the worker will take a break at 4 until 4:30 p.m. This vehicle service center will be operated every day, while on Friday, it will be operated half day, which is from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. For part-timers, we are hiring among the students. This is because we want to open an opportunity for students who want to make extra money. The working time will be flexible depending on their schedule. The part-timers will be in charge of helping in the shorthand of the experienced worker to make sure the service of vehicle can be done on time. The part-timer expected to be needy the most on Saturday because the operation expected to be busy on that day since it is on weekend. Last one is work schedule. On 21st May, President of Student Leadership and Development Committee of SME Bank Student Residential Hall proposed a proposal on setting up a vehicle service center beside Bukit Kachi Mall to the principal of SME Bank Student Residential Hall. 4th June, approval from Dr. Cik Muhammad Aziz as a principal of SME Bank Student Residential Hall. 21st June until 25th July, construction work in progress. 25th July until 3rd August, there will be a search for experienced worker and part-timers. 28th July, start advertising in social media and Newsseek. 20 July until 5th August, the construction works complete. Then we will continue with cleaning, setting up the material and equipment, and briefing to the workers. 2nd August, contact the material suppliers to ensure the material will be delivered on time before the opening day. 6th August, the manager will double check for every single equipment of the vehicle service center. Lastly, 8th August, grand opening of the vehicle service center. Last but not least is the cost of setting up a vehicle service center. The cost, there will be 2 costs, which is initial capital, and the cost of monthly expense. In the initial capital, we have a few things, which is the construction work will cost 25,000. Toolbox and equipment will be cost 300. Equipment of the office, which is furniture, computers, printer, telephone, filing cabinets, and electronic. It will be cost 3,600. For the safety and security, it will cost 50 ringgit. Liability insurance and license cost is about 200. Cashier machines 650. Additional expenditure, which is business card, signage and promotion, is about 250 ringgit. And lastly, equipment and material is about 5,000. The total cost for initial capital is 35,250 ringgit. The cost of expense monthly, which there will be two things, which is utilities will cost 250 ringgit and salary will cost 8,000. The total of this cost is 8,250 ringgit.
In conclusion, by setting up a vehicle service center or workshop beside Kachi Mall at Bukit Kachi can give many benefit to the student, especially for the student who stay at SME Bank and also Bank Rakyat. It is also convenient to the student so that they don't need to travel far, such as to Chandon or Alstar, to seek for the service. And it also can ensure the student safety, especially for the female student. If something happen at night or at Jalan Bukit Kachi. So consequently, the recommendation of setting up this vehicle service center or workshop beside Kachi Mall is applicable. Several actions will be taken, such as construction, dealing with suppliers from Grand Garage, and also hiring part-time and also the experienced workers. So, but we ensure that all of this action will be done before 8 August 2020. Thank you.